All right, so it's time for another Decklist stream, and I should probably advertise in chat. Stream starting now! Exclamation mark! Exclamation mark!
How is my computer losing battery? Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. I'm just gonna close all my extra windows I have open.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
And so yeah. I guess we should actually talk about. Do you want to talk about the changes this month? Although there isn't that many.
Sure. I can talk about that.
Yeah. You do it because I literally haven't even looked at it.
So, a Memorial to Radiance, this is just like a rules change to stop annoying stuff, though this doesn't stop the annoying rule stuff with curses. So before, just attached to creatures, Seraphina's Gift is banned because this card is just nuts. You just cheat it in without casting it, and you now draw 3, discard 2. Specifically with Marilia, Cradle of War, and Tinker's Tools are the main things.
Yep.
I assume Obwad Karoba is just a designer change. Same with Across the Plane Void. Dawn Silhouette stops the Clerics combo deck from going. Descend Upon the Tomb, this is my fault. I made a very good Unearth deck. Didn't get to Decklist with it, though, sadly. Or abuse it that much since it near the end of the month and got nerfed.
Yep.
Horizon Treader, I think this is another, like, stopping combo decks. Like the weird blink stuff. Intsuyu's Masterpiece just makes this card much easier to kill. I think this is a very reasonable change. It was seen play in Affinity, Bant Concord, that kind of stuff. Long Forgotten, this card is just very unfun, in my opinion.
What? Excuse me?
I don't like it. I play Graveyard deck.
I love this card. It actually gives me a good value to target to fetch with Settle Song.
I'm sure there are other value targets, Ricky, though. Primordial Artisan, I think this is just another designer change. Spirit of the Sands, this is for my Unearthed deck. Steward of Empire's Cradle, this is Bant Concord. This is another thing that's my fault. This card was completely insane and bonkers. Now it's still quite good in my opinion, but less good since it doesn't just curve you into a good 3-drop.
Well,
now
also,
you actually have to.
Also, it's a 3-drop, so it's a lot harder to fit into decks. No.
Yeah. And then Tinker's Tools is just now sorcery because it was very annoying.
They did the nerf that I suggested that they do in commentary. I'm not sure if that affected them or anything.
How many cards did I get nerfed? Descend, partially Masterpiece, probably Spirit of the Sands, and Steward.
Oh yeah. Also, if you look at the changelogs for Tinker's Tools, it's out of order.
Yes.
2018, 2017, and then 2025. Is that? I'm not sure how they. I guess they manually add to the change logs and they just forgot which order they were going in.
Probably.
Yeah,
how is my computer losing battery? Okay, I might have to get off my computer.
Are you not going to plug it in?
It is plugged
it in.
Oh, well,
that's what I'm confused about.
That's unfortunate. Anyways, so that's enough discussion about stuff. Oh yeah, actually, it's something else I want to mention since you pointed out Memorial to Radiance. Like that's actually it's actually a buff because.
Yes.
Yes, because previously, if you wanted to copy a land aura, you need a creature in play to be the target. But now it targets any aura. So like.
Isn't it just like not? Okay. Yeah, but now you still can't copy curses. I feel like just.
Yeah, but now it's actually possible to copy land auras with this thing without having to have a creature in play first, which means you can curve turn 1 land aura into this thing on turn 2.
I don't know. Like can't you just remove the attach clause and it still works? It just doesn't target because of weird aura rules shenanigans.
Oh yeah, yeah, something like that. But
okay, anyways, we should probably do the actual Decklist stream.
Yeah, good idea. Okay. So did you clean up the deck list? Oh wait, am I on the wrong one? Okay, I am. Hopefully I did not leak anything while trying to tab over to the other Decklist stream. Do we only
Okay.
have 17 people this time?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
We might
I
be able
didn't
to
add
finish.
everyone yet.
Small
might-
GP.
We might be able to finish
Okay,
in an hour
because-
then.
I'm going to Ricky, I'm just gonna move to my phone now to let my computer charge. Because right now it's at 5.
Sure, I guess both of you guys are on phones now. Hopefully the audio quality won't be too bad.
Hopefully not.
Does phone Discord also have like noise noise reduction?
I don't even know. I just see like games. I don't know if we want to play games in VC.
Well, settings? Have you looked in settings
Maybe.
yet? Settings, voice settings? Is there like anything like that? I should check on my side actually, since I have Discord installed on my phone too.
How's my audio quality?
Oh God.
Uh-oh. What happened?
So you know what peaking is, right? In terms of audio?
Yeah.
Well, you're doing that right now.
Oh.
It's a little cooked.
It's a little deep
Okay,
fried.
let me see if I can. If this computer still somehow has battery, my other computer. Okay, it's dead.
Well,
just try like
Um,
turning the charger like around, because sometimes like one side of the charger is like weird.
Let me like unplug it in.
Okay, well, while we're suffering through technical difficulties, maybe we should actually start. How many people are looking at us? We have one concurrent viewer. So the one person in stream right now, thank you very much for sticking through with us, because this is not desirable. Actually, maybe it is because it's for the content, and there's more content when stuff doesn't go to plan.
It's drama.
Oh God, I'm actually not sure if you're super loud, or like you being super loud is even going to get picked up by OBS, or if it's going to like get
Do you want
compressed
me
by
to, like,
OBS.
is this better? Is this better?
Yeah, actually, it's slightly less deep fried now.
Okay, I can just like move my phone away.
Sure.
Sure.
Is this good?
Yeah, it's actually
Okay.
not bad.
That's not bad. Okay, let's actually get to the decks now. Okay, I can
All right,
barely.
cool.
You're away from me now, but
Well,
if it works, it works.
half the time I can't hear what you're even saying because you're too muffled to make out, but hopefully that doesn't end up impacting anything.
Okay, I'll just talk loud. I don't know.
Talk loud, slow, and articulate clearly, like how they teach you in public speaking classes.
Okay.
Oh, Ashley, okay, Ashley, save us.
Please save us,
what's
bro.
going on? What's going on?
Okay, we found someone who isn't on a phone.
Styles and I are on our phones, so
Oh my gosh.
Ashley, save us
Cody,
from
are
the
you
other
watching?
phone.
Are you watching the like Subway Surfer compilations? Family
Yeah,
Guy,
yeah.
Funny Moment. All right. Well,
Yeah, we haven't even started with our first
is that-
deck yet because we're struggling through technical difficulties right now.
let me actually move
Oh.
locations.
Okay. Well, so yeah, Ashley, are you sticking around for the stream?
I got nothing better to do.
Okay, cool. Add yourself to the spreadsheet, and I guess we should actually get started on our first deck.
All right,
Ooh,
yeah.
his
So
crushes,
Burn. Yeah.
So Crush Castle is on Foxes.
It's a deck.
Actually, doesn't seem that bad. It seems pretty cool.
Conjure Quicksand. Have you ever seen this card before? Conjure Quicksand.
That is absurd. I mean, I don't think this is particularly good.
I think Pup of Marigold Burrow is actually pretty good in this deck.
Yeah, Pup of a Marigold Burrow has been almost good enough if it gets the right cards around it for a while now.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like Suitor.
Pop and Ricky Cree are like the reason this deck can exist. I
Yeah.
don't think cards are very good.
Yeah, like Keen Redtail seems a little sus.
Very
Yeah,
fun. Do you
I think
even as well?
I also think it's funny that Keen Redtail is like literally just a fox. Like it's just a fox.
What do you mean by just the fox?
Like if you look at like Worried Vulpine, it's like wearing clothes as a staff. You know,
Oh, you mean
Rikiri
it's
Dissident's got a cloak. Third Legion General's at least attacking. Keen Redtail is just a fox sitting there. I'm talking artwork here. I'm talking
I mean,
artwork.
it's also. I mean, it's you know in Magic like how some creature types or some creature types share both normal animals and anthropomorphic animals, and some creature types like split to two, or at least they used to split to two, right? I think.
I don't know.
Well, either ways, so what this means is that cats have way more cards in its tribes than whatever wolves/dogs are doing, because they split those things among like whatever's anthropomorphized or not with werewolves and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it seems like
yeah.
Fox, in MSEM at least, Fox is also like a tribe that shares both animals and furries. Okay. Yeah,
You spent so long with anthropomorphized animals. I thought you were gonna get there.
I'm sorry. It's just too much work to say the whole thing out. It's much.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this deck 5 chili peppers.
I mean, yeah, no, I'll give it like 3 chili peppers because it's bad in a way that's not fun to commentate, right? Like it's funny, but it's not fun to watch.
Yeah, this deck's getting 3 foxes out of 5. It's just a burn deck.
What?
Like if you look at a deck that Crush submitted previously, which was like the fatigue deck, that I feel like had a lot more unique cards, and this runs Obscoriate, Brazen Sacrilege, Scourge, Festival Sabotage, Rikiri Distant.
Wait,
sideboard other than Conjure Quicksand is very just a burn sideboard.
Yeah,
so
I was gonna say it just looks like a transformative like burn sideboard kind of.
it does kind of just seem like a worse burn deck
of course. I mean,
in a certain way.
I think a lot of
Like-
aggro decks, a lot of like funny aggro decks are just worse burn decks.
That's what this is. It's a funny aggro deck that is worse than a burn deck.
Well, actually, no. So there is actually a fun interaction here with Brazen Sacrilege and Pup Up Marigold Burrow. If you Brazen Sacrilege, you get to pump up the damage from Pup. So like if you have like 5 mana in a turn, you can Brazen and then put down 3 things with Pup and then smack them for 6.
Simply have 5 mana and 3 1-mana foxes in hand.
I mean, Obscurate is technically ramp if you hit your own things, right?
That's not how you use Obscoriate.
He's coming up with new tech every day.
Hey,
Obscoriate, if you just play like a Doom Traveler turn 1, Obscoriate is basically just rampant growth at instant speed.
Think about it. It's like plunging wildfire with those indestructible lands, but worse.
Think about it. Rampant growth's rampant growth. Really.
Yeah. So do you want to also give a numerical rating? Do we have someone who's giving out numbers here? Because I'm not the one who's giving out numbers.
Yeah,
Okay.
you want to do it?
Yeah, you can be a numbers guy.
I'll give it probably like a 4, honestly.
Yeah, that's probably correct.
4
It is like half burn though. It is like half burn.
Yeah,
So
but
it can't.
no, the problem with
for me, yeah.
I agree with a 4, I think.
The thing with being half burn is like burn is a density based deck. If you're half burn, you're actually worse than being full burn, or you're worse off than being like 0% burn.
Sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
So this next deck is Dodger's deck. This has Realm Stitching, which is one of my favorite cards. I love this card.
Reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of lands you control. Oh, it's like Genesis Wave.
A funny thing about this is how Crattery Attack got made is originally it was a Realm Stitching deck. Then Nyx was running a Crattery in Orange Orchard Art Attack.
You put Crattery on screen.
What if you just like combine them together, and then that deck evolved through like a ton of testing and iteration into a Crattery Attack?
Oh yeah, by the way, for those of you who haven't been around for long enough, Chattery used to be unnerved. It used to have
Lots
a
of
completely
cards
different
used
effect.
to be unnerfed.
Well, Chowder used to have a completely different effect before it got nerfed. You can read that. You can pause and read it if you want, but yeah. So Dodger is running 30 lands because they need to hit all their land drops for all their cards that care about land drops and
Yeah,
playing
this
extra
is
lands.
This is also an Alvarez of the Huntsman deck,
Ooh,
which is why there's 30 lands
that's wild.
specifically, is because that makes the deck at least half lands.
So
Then you just run a bunch of good stuff. Hands of the Grove is guaranteed to hit a ramp card in this deck, which is nice.
so what do you do if you don't draw? If you draw more lands than you want?
You mulligan. You swap with Alvarez.
You're trying to play all your lands. I don't think there is a too many
I think I
lands,
would
really.
go for my one thing about this deck, or the few things, is I think you should run Curse of Encroaching Waters, Off-World Surveyors over like Logger Recluse or
What?
Mountain Run. You know,
Wait, they're running Logger? Oh, they're running nerfed Logger Recluse. Ah.
That is a first. I don't think I've seen that card since it got nerfed.
Well, no.
What did it do before?
It used to be 1 mana.
I remember 1 mana Logger
Man,
Recluse.
Now we got Nitrous Renewer instead.
yeah, Nitrous. I was
Yeah.
actually really excited about Nitrous Renewer because it's like it's the only Logger Recluse we have after Logger Recluse got nerfed.
They're called Arboreal Grazers.
Yeah, the only Aurora Grazers that we have in the format.
The funny thing is, it's probably better than Nerf Logger Recluse.
No,
Definitely better.
no, pre-nerfed Logger Recluse is way better than Nitrous Renewer.
I guess because it's also a threat, yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I guess you weren't
Logger
around back
Recluse.
then, but back when I was playing ramp decks with Logger Recluse, a lot of times if you don't have much to do, you can just start going on Logger beats, and then like 3 damage per turn is not trivial for your opponent to just ignore.
A 3/4 is pretty hard for decks to deal with.
Well, it used to be
It was.
It used to be 3 toughness when it was 1 mana, but yeah, like 3 power
Oh,
is
yeah.
not.
yeah, it's pretty
3/3 is
good.
still tough. Like they'll get by stuff. They'll trade with stuff.
Yeah.
I see Mountain Runt here.
I think it does look like a combo kill with like the Valakut thing plus Realm Stitching.
Realm Stitching. So in my Realm Stitching decks, what you do is you Realm Stitching, then you go for like an untap all your lands, you like draw with your Revelations, RFE and stuff, then you draw into another Realm Stitching, and Realm Stitching puts in more lands untapped. So you can just keep going off, and then eventually you just like combo kill with something. For me, I ran Chromatic Herald and then just attacked with Revelations.
Yeah, and it seems like Dodger is just doing Valakut Hellkite, which does a very good Valakut impression with Realm Stitching.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so that's why it's called Valakut Hellkite.
You didn't know that?
I didn't realize. So thoughts about the lack of Alexa in this deck? Would Alexa be good?
Like I said, I think you should run these kind of cards that are like, I get an additional land every turn rather than these one-off grazers, especially Logger Recluse.
Yeah, with Logger Recluse at 2 mana, I think you're getting more value out of an Alexa than a Logger Recluse.
I mean, a Logger
Even
Recluse.
like I said, Encroaching Waters in a 30-land deck, I think might just legitimately be better than Nitrous Renewer.
I'd still think Nitrous is better just because it's a body that you can put down to protect you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The reason for Logger Recluse might be a creature density thing.
But even like Living Supernova.
I mean, okay, so that thing just that you can just ramp with every turn.
I guess.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I imagine that's good just because you get like, Nitrous Renewer, turn 2, use Living Supernova's effect, and then you're at 4 mana to end the turn.
And then next turn you like play Alvarez and start discarding lands to it. Actually, you don't want to be discarding lands to Alvarez, do you?
I mean, it's probably a plan in this stack,
It's like
otherwise it would
case,
bother.
Yeah.
Because that's again the thing of creature density is like knowing that you're gonna have a creature that is functional, has a good ability, lets you, like, if you don't have any gas, you're at 6 or 7 mana already, you know you can cast your big cards when they come. You don't need more mana, just gonna ping your opponent, make a big trampler.
Yeah.
So if you have a hand that's just ramp and lands, and you know you're gonna have to go find a piece, but it's good beyond that, then maybe it's something you keep if you're like Mountain Runts, something that gives you value off your lands in that situation. It's here for a reason, I'm sure.
All right, are we ranking this like a 6 or a 5.5?
I'd say
I'd say a 5.5.
okay, sure. I agree. I'll
Yeah,
give it
that's
5
fun.
chili peppers though, because I've never seen this deck before.
I'll give it 5 chili peppers because of realm switching.
It's gonna get
RG.
4. It's gonna get 4 trees from me. It's not completely like the idea of putting lands like Zubaiji, we've seen Nitrous Renewer. Like, I think that there's ideas here that aren't completely unique, but still it's a 4 forest deck for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Requiem is on
This
Big
is
Red.
my deck.
100,
This is
100
literally
card
just
red.
my deck. This is my deck. The name, the exact same list. This is literally just my deck. If you scroll down.
So, what do you want to say about this deck?
So it's Big Red. I mean, you've all seen it. This is the exact same list. Like, my list has been used by a lot of people. Funnily, Denoid Poe was on it last GP. Requiem decklisted with it last month, and obviously they're playing it this GP. I'm also playing it this GP. So yeah, there's a lot of this exact same list. I built this like a month and a half ago, maybe. I haven't made any changes since then. I think Culminating Chaos and Mana Overflow, they look like Storm cards, and they are Storm cards, but they're also very good in just like a fair mid-range deck. Like, this deck looks like a Storm deck in some of the cards it plays, but like, here's March, you copy a Culminating Chaos, you copy a Mana Overflow, you basically just win the game from that point because of the ridiculous amount of mana and card advantage you're getting. Tunu also just gives you a ton of mana advantage. If you can add Culminating Chaos plus Tunu, is just completely ridiculous. You can usually win from that. Obviously, you got Fire Weaver to fetch anything you want. You're also running kind of a little Ponza package with Starlit Rays, Imperial Siege, Unburdened Rage.
Yeah.
And you've got lots of removal. I know Requiem said to me it plays like almost a mono red tempo deck. And then you just have a ton of CA, a ton of removal, just good cards in general. And I think the deck is extremely solid and a very good deck, in my opinion.
So, what's up with all the 3-ups in this deck?
Fire Weaver.
Yeah.
No. Right. Good point. Yeah, I didn't know this.
Fuel for the Fires, a 3-up just because, I guess I could cut a Ragavan for it, but, you know.
Yeah, why is there also a 2 Conquer Psyche in the sideboard instead of 1?
Conquer Psyche is really good.
I've never seen anyone run 2.
I've seen, like, I know Truk was running 2 in a few decks. I based most of my Fireweaver boards off of some of Truk's decks, since I know they play a ton of it, and they were running most of the time 2 Conquer Psyche. So,
yeah.
Oh, cool.
Conquer Psyche is one of the best things to get off of Fireweaver, because Fireweaver is until the end of your next turn, so you can like Unrivaled Fireweaver, Conquer Psyche, and have 2 cards to cast next
and then
turn.
set up, like, you set up your board, like, you can go Wayside and then something else if you want to have extra mana. Like,
get a Culminating,
you can get 2 drops like
Overflow.
PFA to set up like your turn 5. Like, you can literally just curve Fireweaver is your first turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5 if you set it up properly.
So how has Fuel for the Fire been working out for you? Because that's a new card.
I have not played this deck much, but every single time I drew this card, it was good. It felt good with both artifact hate and creature removal.
Does the treasure ever like become a problem?
Not the one time it was a problem is when I land destruction by opponent, and they would have been color screwed, but they were able to use the treasure to get to a land that was colored.
I see. And so, what advice would you give to people who are trying to play this deck, especially with the Fireweaver boards and stuff?
Honestly, I have no idea. Like, I think just try and really use your cards that add mana strategically and treat Emissary like one of those. Emissary is an extremely good card. It's almost like a tempo threat. Like Requiem said, you can play this deck like a tempo deck, like an aggro deck sometimes, a control deck almost. If you draw enough removal, you can play it just as like a mid-range deck as well. So I think you really need to just adapt to your matchup is like what I'd say. Like that's what mid-range decks do, you know?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with a wish board.
And I'm assuming like anyone who picks up this deck can just like tinker with the wish board a lot.
Doing the wish board is like I often don't know what to pick as well, so you know.
Well, I think for this wish board at least, a lot of it is just cards that you would be playing in your main deck anyways.
Yeah.
And then a few hate cards.
So I mean, you explained yourself really well. I'll give it 4 chili peppers.
I mean, it's gonna get 1 fire for me because we've seen this deck for a while now.
I'm not gonna rate this deck because it's my deck, but
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2. 2 penguins.
Do you want to give this like a 7 out of 10? That's like it's a 7, right? You described your deck. You say your deck's really strong, so it's obviously a 7.
Yeah. I was gonna say a 6.5 or a 7. This version of red is very good.
Yeah.
Red is very strong right now.
Yeah, maybe 7.5 to 8. Yeah.
I know it's not that good.
Like a 7.
It's a
7.
7.
4 people are on Big Red this GP, and 3 people on this exact list, I think. So
yeah. So let's see if it performs. Also, I feel like I feel like the it's a 7 joke will start like not making sense to people once people join after the bracket system.
The brackets now.
Yeah.
That's a bracket 3, isn't it?
Yeah. I just want to note now that the spiciness level does not reflect how good I think this deck is. It's a 1 because
I'm gonna give myself 5 chili peppers because it's myself.
Yeah. Obviously.
It's a 1 because Fireweaver's been good since the day it was printed. Pretty much all of these cards have been good since they were printed.
I mean, they did innovate by putting the rituals like
Mana Overflow
even then, like
Chaos are my main innovations for this deck.
Culminating Chaos has been good for a while. The Mana Overflow I will give you, but like Culminating Chaos has been this deck for a while, I feel, and
I haven't seen it since.
And even then, like a lot of these are cards that have come around. Like I've seen versions of this deck list with maybe 1 or 2 cards different in 100 cards. I'll give it 2 fires for the innovations, the different cards, but it's just a deck that I feel like I've seen for many months now.
I mean, yeah, like it's good. People are gonna play it,
and we're gonna see more of them in the future because that isn't even Aang's version of the deck.
There's also 4 people on it this GP, making it by far most represented deck. So
yeah,
our next deck is another deck that's been around for a moment.
Everyone, scroll down to the sideboard.
We don't need to scroll down. We can just look at the sideboard.
Oh wait, you guys aren't on mobile.
Oh yeah, people on their phones. Yeah, this is Tinbeard Stash. It is.
How do you cast that?
It's a Dead Man's Hand deck, but you can run Tinbeard because every non-land card is an artifact. Because Mechanus is an artifact, and even if it wasn't, it says artifact.
Okay, but how do you cast this?
But we put in Tinbeard.
Distilled Inspiration
too as well.
You could use Distilled Inspiration, I guess.
Hub of Innovation as well is something that is quite good.
Hub of Innovation is a good card.
One of Titan Snare in the main to be tutored is fun.
That's funny. Yeah.
I don't know if it's good, but it's very funny.
That's certainly going to
Alright.
ruin someone's day.
we've seen this deck a lot before. It's Dead Man's Hand. You
Okay,
Dead
I'm gonna
Man's Hand. You
my
reshaper.
computer has battery now.
Okay.
All right.
We have Bodega. You see Ubitsa 4s, the new cards from MC25. It's still really good. It's as good as it was the day that people learned how Dead Man's Hand worked with Dimensional Reshaper before Reshaper itself was nerfed.
Yeah, it's good. Like
Yeah,
I'll just give it 1 chili pepper because like actually I'll give it 3 for Tin Beard. Actually no, Tin Beard is good enough. I'll give it a 5.
it's getting 2 robots out of 5 for me.
Yeah, it's getting
Let me
because,
give it 5 robot. Actually, I'll give it 4 robots. Yeah.
Tinbeard's taken up 1 slot in the sideboard, and I don't think there are any deck building concessions that had to be made to put it in. Just running a card in the sideboard.
They
So
put
getting
in
an extra robot for having a 1 of Titan
Funny,
Snare in
though.
the main.
That's
That's funny.
they ran Distilled Inspiration to cast Timbeard. Okay.
Yes, I pointed that out when
So
Distilled
that
Inspiration
is
was already in the deck. That's not an innovation.
I'm
The deck
pretty sure
already
it
ran Distilled
wasn't
Inspiration,
in
so
the
that doesn't
deck.
matter.
no. The
Also,
previous
you're not
Distilled
running-
Inspiration
you're
was
running
definitely in Dead
blue.
Man's Hand decks.
Yeah, it was not.
I've
Not
really.
seen this.
have you been keeping
I've
up?
seen this card way too many times
Yes, but
in
not in
my
this
life
deck.
for it to not be in this deck.
It wasn't
You've
in the
seen it
version
in
that was
mine.
broken.
Running.
You've seen it in my Storm decks.
Asti, are
It's
you
still
like
getting 2
outdated?
robots.
Have you not been keeping
blue
up?
rail line and not black
I don't
one.
look. I can just leave if you want. I'm not gonna take anything from you, Ricky.
I'm sorry, Asti.
I'm
Please
not
don't
gonna.
leave.
I'm just trying to participate. I'm not gonna take condescension today.
I'm sorry.
I have better things to do with my life.
I'm sorry.
I don't want you laughing at that either, because this is serious shit.
Okay. Anyways, Reshaper.
Also, wrong rail line.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, I was gonna point that out. It should be the black one.
That is funny. Yeah.
Maybe there's no. They want to cast Marilite too.
Oh, I feel like you still want to run the black one because you're like always getting it into your hand anyway.
No,
first mate.
you're not always
You're
going to.
probably only getting him in very like occasional matchups.
Yeah, maybe.
I think the only time you like bring in Timbeard is if you're flooded, if your hand's flooded, so at least you switch out a land for it or something.
Beard just makes more mana though.
Oh yeah, good point.
That's the funny thing. I don't think Tin Beard's good, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Anyways,
Alright.
let's move on.
Shifangu is in the sideboard. That's the first thing I notice. This is Soldier Sue.
Yep. We have Riel. We have Ystelion Vanguard, Epoch Warden.
Who was like who made this deck? I don't know. I'm pretty sure Toasty was experimenting with it a bit, but we saw Cadentry do very well with it, and it looks like a very good deck. You've got Sue's a soldier. You're running Soldier Tribal almost. You've got Hictalion's Vanguard, which is kind of insane with Sue or Rial or Epic Warden, or your deck's built around this stuff. But yeah.
How does Jack interact with the
It
Master
triggers.
Zeus?
It triggers, but only for itself, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's abilities of that creature triggers though it entered. So Jack would essentially enter, pump your board.
So yeah,
And then swing
it's
a
also
pump.
just like a bushwhacker. That's also just very like Jack on its own without the Sue buff. I think you could reasonably play in this deck. I don't know if it'd be, maybe not.
Jack's pretty good.
But it's a bushwhacker that also bushwhacks again when you play other legends.
Yeah, I know how insane Jack
I did
is.
bushwhacks every turn with the Master Zero Rial.
Yes. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's good.
So for Sign of Silence, were they on this before?
No, notably, Sign of Silence is not a Wen, so it does not work with Sue or Rial.
It's just good.
Yes, it's just a good soldier.
Like that.
It does actually it works with Epic Warden, but just like dies immediately. So
I guess it's
did I
for,
say
like,
epic? That's epoch. Oh my god.
It does. Yeah, I mean, for epoching something, you'd rather be hitting your Vanguard or
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
Jack, or even
Vanguard
like
is basically like I play this, I get my Rialzu or Epoch Warden, I blink it, and then good luck.
I feel like I've definitely played against this deck before, although I don't remember when.
Yeah, Cannon Tree and Toasty, I've been playing it over like last month, maybe the month before that.
Hmm.
Interesting removal option of 4L bodies, because I feel like the 1/1s are going to be troublesome for some big
Yeah.
creatures.
Yeah. Yeah, it might
I
be like
agree
annoying
with
just to
you.
like chump a giant. Like if you have like a 6 attack or a 5 power guy, just chumping with the 1/1 might cost you like an extra turn.
Well, no, it's because Jack also
Mhm.
some of the guys in the deck have 1 toughness.
That's true.
Hmm.
But maybe like they tested it out and figured that L body is still better than everything else out there.
Hmm.
I mean, like there really isn't that many other 1 mana options for hard removal. So like I guess
I'll
like
give it 2 ninjas.
2 ninjas.
I don't know, I couldn't find a better soldier emoji, okay?
Yeah.
I'll give it.
military
Why are you
helmet.
taking my shtick, Ang? Man.
I'll give it a military helmet instead.
Yeah. You're using the exact. I think you're using the same website I am, because when I looked up soldier, I got
I
a
am
military
using
helmet.
the same
Yeah.
website as you.
Well, it's getting 3 pandas for Master Zoo out of 5.
I'll have
It-
it. Sure, I'll go back to chili peppers.
All
What
right.
are we giving this as a ranking? Like a 5.5 or a 6?
I'd say a 7.
I don't know
It's
about
a
that.
7. I mean,
It is a very good
Is this deck better than
I don't know if it's as good as
Reshaper?
Big Red, but it's a good deck. I think it's better than Nyx's version of Reshaper.
sure, I trust you,
Okay.
Ange. You're more
Alright.
up to date on the meta than I am, because I haven't spent
Yeah, same.
much time actually playing Magic recently.
Splash Cat is on Big Red, but a different list.
There's a
Slightly
1 of Paint with Starflame.
We're on Lieutenant Daisy
Also,
Saxon
yeah.
as well.
Good card.
Yeah, it's basically almost the same with a few slight differences.
Yeah, it's the same deck. We've
You
talked
can
Oh.
about
just
Fire
copy it
Weaver.
over.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll
It's just
keep
the
the.
sideboard's a bit different.
3 on Burden
Okay.
Rage in the sideboard inside
I
of the
probably
main.
gotta go for a second, so
Okay. Sure.
It's a
3 on Burden Rage
7.5.
instead of in the main board. I guess it's less Ponza-y in that way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Only 1 Conquer Psyche. Splash Guide is definitely not like going deep into the Conquer Psyche plan.
Cat and Tree is on Master Zoo. It looks like the only difference in between the decks is it's on Scorch and not Out of Body.
Huh.
And instead of the Epoch Wardens, it's going to 4 on Rial and Jack.
I think Scorch probably ends up being better than L Body in most
I
scenarios.
gotta go. Now
Okay.
someone else can continue the
All
ratings
right.
if they want.
Thanks for sticking with
Alright,
us,
I'll see you
Ange.
later.
Bye.
Hi. So,
Right,
yeah. I think Scorch probably ends up being better than L Body in this deck. Although I guess maybe
Yeah.
you want L Body to just hard remove stuff that you can't attack past.
Yeah, we also can get like for like the extra little reach for Scorch.
Yeah. Oh, Line Officer.
Mhm.
What's the other version on Line Officer? Yeah, Line Officer. Have you seen this card before?
No.
Styles.
It's cool. I saw that immediately. I've been moused over for a couple seconds. Just
Is this card like what does this card do again?
haste, deploy 5, which is as it enters, you can tap a number of other creatures you control with total power 5 or more. And if it enters deployed, it does 3 damage to each creature opponents control. So it's kind of a Shaldrain's Rage effect of
It cooks their board, so
cooking boards, yeah.
How easily can you get the deploy off in this deck?
I think it's easy if you have Rial and not easy otherwise. Or if you have
Yeah.
if you have Hectalion's Vanguard or Rial, then you're
Is
probably good.
Is
Otherwise,
it
not.
possible to get Line Officer deployed on curve? I don't
Probably
think so,
not.
right? it's not.
Mm.
Or maybe it is. You would need 3 power 2 drop. Do you have that? Like you already have a 2 power 1 drop.
You have a 2 power. You have a 2 power 1 drop. You have a 2 power 3 drop. I don't think so.
There's probably like some weird jack line that lets you do it, but I'm not going
I
to
don't think you
about
need it to be deployed on curve necessarily. There aren't really. The only deck it would be good against is the mirror match. Is playing it on curve.
Yeah, that'd be a complete
But-
blowout.
Yeah.
Yeah. This thing should be a blowout regardless, though, because even if opponent would need 2 vanguards for their board to survive, because otherwise, just vanguard dies, its buff goes away, everything else dies.
Yeah.
But not my creature. I mean, it's a 3-mana 3/2. It's got haste. It can board wipe.
Repeatedly, I think, right? Can you deploy
Well,
off the?
It's an as it
Re-triggers?
enters effect.
Oh,
So no.
that's unfortunate. Oh, wait, no. But then you have a when it enters deployed. So if you deploy it once, does that mean that it's going to trigger every time you or every time you attack?
Well, it didn't enter deployed because
Well-
like the deploys and as it enters, you can tap so many creatures
Yeah, but
and then enter
is
deployed.
deploy like supposed to be a persistent state? So like once you deploy it, then it's always going to be deployed.
Well, it enters deployed.
Enters.
I
Like,
mean,
we would need to ask Cajun about this, I think, and I think it
I
might
think
actually
it's-
matter.
in my mind, I think there's absolutely no way that Zoo would cause it to trigger again. I don't think that's how deploy works.
Well, you
Or
wouldn't
any
need,
effect
you,
like that works.
You wouldn't need to tap your things again. Like it's just going to be always deployed, and every time you attack, you just get to board
I don't
wipe for
think
free.
that's how deploy works. It doesn't make any sense for it to work like that. No other as it enters effects work like that.
I mean, does exploit work like that? I actually don't know. Well, I don't think there's
think
anything in
Happy's
canon
right.
that copies or that lets you trigger attacks on.
Well, because
Right.
exploit is a when it enters, you can sack a creature,
Oh,
not an as it enters.
huh. Okay, well, hey, Ashley, can you like ask being a judge about this, and we can like continue on, and then we can see how the judge responds later.
We can ask a judge later.
But ask him now so that we get the answer like before the stream ends.
I have an idea.
All right.
I'm just gonna do this. There's the comprehensive rules.
Are we really reading the comprehensive rules
Alright.
right now?
Well, there's a rule for deployed.
Are you looking in bot?
A permanent enters deployed as it enters the battlefield if its deploy cost was paid. It might actually work that way.
Yeah.
This is once permanent becomes deployed, it stays deployed until it leaves the battlefield. Permanent ends battlefield. Enters deploys ends battlefield if its deploy cost was paid. So I don't know because this is once a permanent becomes deployed, it stays deployed until it leaves the battlefield. A permanent enters deployed as it enters the battlefield if its deploy cost was paid. So I don't think you can pay the deploy cost because you don't get the as this enters effect.
Yeah, but
It doesn't really matter. I'm not playing against this deck. I don't care.
how do you know you're not playing against it?
I didn't sign up for the
Oh.
GP.
Ah. I mean, I guess that's one way to avoid playing against decks you don't like.
I simply do not see it. All right, well,
All right, let's move
let's
on.
move on now.
Oh yeah.
All right, Duravos is on ramp.
Oh, Iviana speaker. Okay, so it's Splashcat's deck, I think, and
Yeah, Iviana started to come up in these decks.
so from what Splashcat said, apparently Iviana is actually really good in this ramp deck.
Oh, I've heard, yeah. I mean, it's card draw, it's damage, it's threats. I don't think
Well,
the deck
go
deck
ahead.
isn't really on dragons other than Tyrant, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it seems hard for like creature decks to remove it. You literally can just zero it like so many times in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess like if
Yeah,
you get to the
card draw.
point where you can drop this, then you just win
Also
against
just
creature
makes
decks.
5/5s. which is pretty good.
Right, it also makes 5. It draws 2 cards and then makes a bunch of 5/5s. So, but
Dude, Surrey
otherwise,
Rift is interesting. I don't think I've seen that
Yeah.
card before.
apparently extra turn spells are good in ramp or something.
Hard to believe, honestly.
I mean, that is hard to believe because most ramp decks don't run extra turn spells.
That's true. I remember when what's the 5-mana card that lets you free cast stuff? You cast it for Wooburg.
Uh,
That was added in somewhere.
are you
Wild
talking about
card, I
Canon
guess.
or MSEM?
It was MSEM.
5-mana card that lets you free. Are you talking about 0?
Let me find. Face Your Demons. Face Your Demons.
I never heard that
What
card
was
before.
that when the MC25?
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Really? It was like in deck building for a while. It's you discard your hand, draw 3 cards. If you spend at least Wooburg to cast it, you can cast those cards for free. Because the idea was if you had like studies, if you had a way to make yourself draw more cards, the way it's worded is that you could free cast all of those. So you would use, I think it was LaRoe's study, to draw way more cards than 3, and then you get a free cast all of them. I don't think it ever became a deck, but it was in deck building for a while. Unrelated though.
Yeah.
But I put Time in a Bottle in a build of that deck.
Time in the bottle.
Which is augmented draw cards, take an extra turn, I believe.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, this is your pretty standard. I mean, I guess it's standard issue. Verdant Sanctuary ramp deck. We have Verdant Sanctuary, and then ways to let you play extra lands with Alexa and Subatia, and you also got Field Tender so that you can get some extra bonuses from playing out these lands and stuff.
Yeah, Field Tender is really good.
I agree.
I've seen it. You can just absolutely flood the board in a very short period of time. Gets 1 tree. How good is this deck? What do we think?
I mean, it's proven itself, I think.
6.5?
6.5. Yeah, sure, 6.5. I'll give it 4 chili peppers because I kind of like I like ramp, and it is like this is very much a deck that branched off what I started building or what I first introduced. Remember back
next
when
we have Epid.
Okay, fine. Yeah, let's move on.
On buy time all or nothing.
Ooh.
I think this is a pretty strong deck.
Casino Scam Bot here. Monkey Shines. I didn't know people still ran that card. I haven't seen this card since I was running. Gosh, I have to go look up the card again.
Well, I mean,
I haven't seen this card since I was running Infuse the Apparatus before that got nerfed.
I was running Monkey Shines like back when Polymorph wasn't nerfed.
Polymorph.
So we had some polymorphs in the format that were instant speed, and then after I made it to the finals with a polymorph deck, it got nerfed to sorcery speed, and then it kind of just fell out.
Space Oddity.
Yeah, Space Oddity and True Form. Was it True Form Revelation? Hey, I have a promo for this. I have a top 8 promo for this card. But yeah, this card used to be instant speed, which was nutso because then you can actually do a Splinter Twin kind of thing where you play decks that don't have any creatures, and you just make tokens and try to do the twin thing where you try to tempo them while holding up I win format's instant speed spell.
Pretty good.
Yeah, but now it can't. But now I got nerfed to sorcery, so yeah. But yeah,
this deck's like cool, I guess.
The sideboard tech seems pretty good with Cosmic Coalescing.
Oh yeah, it is running Cosmic.
Cosmic Coalescing is one of my favorite cards. I've never built a deck around it because I am bad at playing Magic. But I like it.
It's running a Heart of the Zenith in the sideboard for Cosmic. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Is Heart of the Zenith ever going to do stuff in this deck?
I mean, it's probably just there as a land that exists.
So you can fetch lands with the
I don't
Cosmic.
think you really need it.
I guess it's. I mean, so like Casino Scam does want lots of mana to get off their combo, and like if they have enough mana, they can do the entire combo in a single turn instead of having to split between multiple turns, which is really good for them because then they don't have to. Because they literally die if they take too many turns.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
So I guess like if you're at 6 mana, you grab this, you go up to 10 mana, and then you can just do the entire combo in a single turn.
Mm-hmm. And you just need a Sacred Songs.
Yeah.
Or have that out, and then yeah, you win.
I also we haven't mentioned so Kyoro. They're running Kyoro just as a I guess just as a mid-range top end, so that they're not like 100% priced into winning with a combo.
Yeah.
Kyoro is a very good card, a very good Magic card. And Unrelenting in this deck is a pretty solid, like, a pretty solid Kyoro target.
Oh yeah, right.
No matter the situation.
Like, I thought you meant to say that Unrelenting can get Kyoro, right?
It
can get Kyoro, but
it can get buy time
also,
too.
It gets both parts. Oh yeah, actually Unrelenting is really nice here.
Yeah. Yeah, Unrelenting gets here. By time gets your All or Nothing, gets your board wipes.
But why are you only running?
It even gets Valdez, even if you really want Valdez.
But why are you only running 3 copies if you want multiple copies? Is there one copy in the sideboard? There isn't.
There isn't.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. I think you should be on 4 then for sure.
Well, anyways, I'll give it like 4 chili peppers for like it's Casino Scam, but Casino Scam has been kind of out of the format currently.
It's gonna get two casinos for me. It's Casino Scam. I mean, you make a fair point that Casino Scam's been going for a while, but
I do like Unrelenting in this deck because it just increases a lot of the. Actually, what's the word to describe like looking at a deck and seeing how it all connects together and feeling really good about it?
Do I look like a dictionary?
But you know what? You know the feeling I'm talking about, right? When you look at a deck list and you can see like how all the cards fit together, and you
like cohesiveness.
Oh yeah, cohesiveness. Like
that works.
I think Unrelenting makes the deck feel a lot more cohesive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
How would we rate that?
I'd say like 6 or 6.5. I think it's pretty well built.
6.5, yeah.
I'm in charge of the numbers. I'm giving it a 6.
Sure.
I don't think this deck's better than I don't think this deck's as good as Reshaper.
Why is Reshaper a 6.5 anyways? It should be a 7, right?
Probably.
I mean, and is gone now, so there's nothing stopping us from changing the numbers.
We can't. Not every deck can be above average. That's not how averages work.
No. But so these decks are above average because have you seen? Because think about all the possible decks that are able to be built within this card pool, and think about how many of them are bad. That's why most decks that get brought here.
Every deck's a 10 out of 10 because of limited decks. And like, here's my deck. It's 40 common giant green creatures and 20 forests.
No, I don't think it's any. I think it's better than the mono island deck, though. At least.
Well, I think there's also degrees of. I think our rating system gets worse if every deck is in a range of like 3 options, except for meme decks.
Well,
like, there's not really much point in rating if everything's in either a 7.5, a 6.5, or a 7.
I mean, tell that to the video game reviewers.
We're not talking about video games. We're talking about Magic cards. We're talking about MSEM. You know, if I had a problem with video game reviewers, I'd go to IGN and send them an email. You know, but I don't.
Okay, fine. Sure, we'll let it be an 8. I mean, let it be a 6 then.
All right.
Now let's move on. Cat counts on legends. It's the same
Ooh.
legend decks we saw last GP.
I think it's Gal's deck.
Yeah.
Is there any changes? I don't think there's any
The
changes.
Lost and Seeking is new from Gao's version. That and Luna, that and I think Penrose came out like after Gao stopped playing as much or stopped playing this deck. But
Yeah, something like that. But Gal started playing the deck again after the Lost and Seeking got printed.
yeah, it's Legends. This deck's been in the format for a super long time. It's been in GPs for a long time. It's the only legend. I don't know what I could possibly
Stars?
put as the emoji for this one.
I mean stars, right? Because it's kind of like legends are like stars.
Well, they can't all be stars. The deck is only legends.
No, there's
If your
some
team has
non-legends.
if your team has 15 LeBrons on it, then you don't have a star. You know.
Okay,
That makes
but
sense.
Emperor's
Hey,
Retainer
it's
isn't a legend, so it's not all legends.
What is
Who's
it?
like the star of this deck then?
Emperor's
Who's
Retainer.
who's like the LeBron of
Who's
legends?
the LeBron of the legends deck?
Probably the Lost and Seeking. Like that card's absolutely
Yeah.
nuts.
I was just gonna say Jack.
Jack or Lost and Seeking, or I mean also Emma the Traveler, drawing 5 cards if you're lucky.
Emma is very good.
Drawing
It's probably
0
the
cards.
easiest emoji to get, so I'm gonna give this deck. I'll give it 2 Amorets out of 5, represented by the baby, represented by baby angel emoji.
Sure. And I guess this deck is probably a 7. I mean, it's 6.5 because apparently that's our new 7. Maybe a 6.
We have a 7s. We don't need a new 7.
Well, you rated Soldier. I mean, I guess that's fine. If
That
you're
was
rating Soldier,
Aang rating that, not me.
well, then we have to tune our ratings to match that rating.
How good is this deck? I don't know.
Apparently, Gal said it's really good, so
Well, yeah, they're running it.
they're not running it all the time.
I think Mono Blue Flyers is really good. It's not gonna get rated very highly, you know.
I mean, Mono Blue Flyers on a good day could be a 7.
Mono Blue Flyers is not a 7.
If it was spelled correctly, maybe it would into the right meta.
I think like Teamer Falconer did get printed.
And then got
Maybe.
nerfed.
We got nerfed. Oh,
Yeah.
how bad is it now?
You can look at Teamer Falconer.
Oh, let's pull it up here. What changed? Oh, the trigger no longer scries.
Wait, is that all it
That would
does?
have been nice, but I don't think that's a downside. It's still a really good turn too for a deck with a bunch of flyers.
I swear this card got
Yeah.
nerfed more. Oh, did it only lose the scry? Why did it
That's
see
all I
no
saw
play
on
then?
Instigator.
Because I remember it seeing like play and then it got nerfed and nobody played it.
Scrying's really good. Like the creature scaling is good for like an aggro deck, but for like a mid-range deck, I imagine that the scrying regularly is better than the pump effect. So yeah.
Anyways, so what? 6.5? Is that what we're giving it?
Sure.
Sure.
The ratings don't matter. Like we're not, Stephen A. Smith. We're not real analysts here.
The ratings don't matter unless we have an actually good person in the booth.
Yeah, when we have like Dodger here, whoever normally does the numbers actually knows what they're talking about, then it looks great.
Yeah, or remember back when we had Purple in the booth? Purple was
nice.
yeah, Purple had such a good pulse on the. What was it saying again? Purple really had the feeling about
Pulse on the format.
Yeah, pulse on the format.
Finger to the pulse, yeah. Ear to the ground. We'll move on now.
Yeah,
though.
so Hersey is running Road to Awe, I think.
I don't see Road to Awe, whatever that card is.
Is it just Reanimator?
The
Yeah,
deck is called Road
it
to Oz
lands.
for some reason. I don't know why. I think Cody did explain, but I completely forgot because I wasn't paying attention because I was commentating at the same time.
Mm.
But basically, it's a deck where you try to mill yourself super hard and then reanimate a Clawing Shaman, which brings back your entire graveyard, which also brings back Lion's Vanguard, which gives your entire board haste.
Mm-hmm.
Haste and Trample.
Yeah.
And you probably have like a Danathum, Muck Bruisers, and other stuff, and then you just win.
Yeah, and then you this version now has a bit more mage ranging stuff with Muck Bruiser and Elmo Wong and Tomb Steward and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it also has an inevitable feature for more reanimation spells, I guess.
Mm.
Yeah.
Is there anything
I feel
new
like half
here?
the sideboard. Yeah, like half the sideboard has like all artifact hate.
Someone really doesn't like artifacts.
I mean, if any card type is gonna make Reanimator sad, I guess it would be artifacts, because that's your sealed gateways and your like.
That's true.
We don't have Grafdigger's Cage, but cards like that.
Also, I'm looking at Fallacy Sanctifier. I've never seen this card before. So when it enters, you exile up to 3 target cards from graveyards. So I guess that's
Well,
that's grave hate.
self-report.
It also has recite, so you can use it from graveyard. Wait, it has colorless recite. That's actually really interesting. So if you mail this thing
Yeah.
over, you get to exile 3 cards at instant speed for 2 colorless mana. Huh.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that is very cool.
All right, that's gonna up it for 3 penguins for me then. That tech.
It's rolled to awe. I'll give it 3 chili peppers. It's the same deck.
Yeah, I'll give it 3. I mean, at the very least, yeah, it's a similar deck, but I think he's only really hurtsy running this deck in the format, at least. I'm gonna give it 2 zombies.
I'm being
It's
extra
rated a
generous today.
6. What was that?
6.5 maybe?
It's a 6.
Fine. You clearly have not seen this deck in action.
No, I haven't.
Yeah. So why are you
Decks
giving
have
it
to be rated some. The rating doesn't matter. If the deck wins, then the deck wins. You know, maybe it'll fuel a hurtsy. You
If you're
know,
gonna fuel
the
Hersey-
haters.
If you just feel, just give them like a 1.
Yeah. No, a 1 is way too obvious. Give it a 5. That's how you really feel someone.
Yeah. I'm getting a 5. This.
Like this is because 1 is clearly joking. 5 is like at that plausible border of deniability where you really think that maybe they're just completely wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
all right. Well, we'll keep it a 5.
Alright, Angoneer, Big Red. We get a copy
It's the
paste.
exact same deck, yeah.
They've
It's
already
copy-paste.
even explained the deck to us, so that's extra nice.
That's Reshaper pile. Yeah, we already know this deck works. Baboom.
Okay, moving on. Silver is playing Toka.
Which has been played. I think it was someone else, but
No, it's this guy who played Toka before.
it's still Toka. I haven't really seen this deck in action, so I don't know. These cards seem the same though from when it was last played.
If you haven't seen a deck in action, then like, how do you? No,
I know that I can read the deck list. You know,
Yeah,
I can
like,
read the box score.
Okay, Assy, but look, Assy. So, if I put a Fireweaver 8-sack deck list in front of you and you read the deck list, would you be able to understand how the deck works?
I mean, it depends. Maybe I vaguely understand. I can see some of the stuff that this deck does. It is using, you know, your reanimation effects, cares about stuff dying, is trying to move stuff around.
So basically, I'm pretty sure there's an infinite combo in here somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Toka looks like a card that has an infinite combo. It puts finality counters on stuff, so I don't know if there's a way to prevent that. But like,
there is, I think. I don't remember what the exact combo is, but there is an infinite combo
I
in
do
here.
see that because there's Nyrix and there's Shadowbinder. That's the combo. That's what I remember. Because you sack Nyrix, add blue, or whatever. You can't spend it to cast spells from your hand, but you activate Nyrix's ability. It comes back from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped.
Yep.
Do that forever. That or I mean, I guess you could do that with Shadowband Console too if you have 2 Twilight Blade effects, because then you would offset the life loss.
Yep.
But that's the combo.
You got it, Asti.
is, and then everything else is support for that kind of idea. That and like you have Young Necro and Channeler is just a good card.
There's Cephalosaurus Flukes, which is a very interesting card. I don't think anyone else has been running this card.
Every time I see this card, I think I really want to make a deck where I can run this, but I can't run this in the deck that I'm making right now. But I love the
Yeah.
idea of this card. Like, I like playing modal dove face cards to some extent. I'm glad that there's like 5 of them. I don't want.
Wait.
I think it's missing power and toughness.
Yeah, I was about to mention.
Whoa!
I don't actually know how big this thing is.
I think it's a
Probably
1/1.
Are you sure it's a 1/1? What if it's a
I- it
2/2? Will you play?
Uh,
Will your opponents call you out for it if you try to play it off as a 2/2?
Let's put that in. See, now we can let's see here. I wonder, there's a way, is there a way to pull up specific printings with LackeyBot?
I'm not sure.
I think
Actually,
only on the
no,
only on Instigator.
actually, there is a way because I know I can do. You just have to like put in the full name that it would show and when you're on Cockatrice. So it's like the name and then appended with the set name.
Yeah.
Actually, if you just do Cephalosaurus Flukes, the first printing is the one that has.
Alright, it's in there.
Okay, fine.
I just copied it. Well, I like infinite combos. This deck I think is pretty good. It performs.
Sure. I'll give it 4 chili peppers because I mean it's a known quality, but like it is an interesting deck.
Yeah.
Grixis.
In honor of Nyrix, the Soul Cage. Okay, there's no emojis for Soul or Cage, so shoot.
Skull emoji, I guess.
Yeah, sure. We're gonna go generic skull emoji. This will get 2 skull emojis because I like it. What are you reading this deck?
6.5.
Yeah, that works. All right, Lilasaur is on Reshaper, but not
A little different, yeah.
This is more of a stormy kind of version with Ride the Storm.
I mean, Ride the Storm isn't exactly a storm card, right? No, it is a storm card.
It has storm in the name. How could it not be a storm card?
It doesn't storm,
That's
though.
how storm works.
It doesn't have storm in the text.
It has storm in the name, and that's close enough.
So 4 Ride the Storm,
one...
1 Taste Brilliance. So that's 5 ways to refill your hand if you get enough things on board.
Yeah. This is just a less. It's a different form of Reshaper. It's one that isn't trying to cast Tinbeard, but that's all about I can think. That's really different.
I mean,
yeah.
Reshaper usually Reshaper doesn't try to cast Tinbeard either, like normal Reshaper.
Yeah.
What did this deck cut to make room for the storm cards?
It's only on 2 of Soul Synthesizer, so
is that?
I think it cut lands too, because it's only on 15 lands. I don't
Oh,
know
15, 15 lands.
It is. Yeah, it's on 7 coal lines, or it's on 7 rail lines, but 15 lands still seems low.
Yeah, that's going to make your mulligans really bad.
Yeah.
Just draw good. Have you thought about that?
And like, how are you planning to make the colors for these guys? Because I mean, I see that you're playing non-colorless lands now,
Why?
but like you're playing non-colorless lands now, and only a few copies. I don't think you.
Well, really important isn't even really a non-colorless land.
Okay, fair, but like,
Sunrise River is a land. I don't know.
how are you going to get access to your colors? Like, you have unmarked vials.
for-
You're not playing the other thing that color fixes you, and
Oh, you're playing
problem.
unmarked files.
yeah, but that's it. Like, I don't think that's enough color fixing for what you want to do.
Ricky, have you tried just drawing your colored lands?
Yeah, it usually doesn't work out for me.
Well, see, that's the problem. Mechanus is basically a land search card because your lands are colorless.
I mean, artifact or color. Okay, yeah, I see. I mean, sure.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, this deck gets 3 trains from me because I don't see Reshaper running Ride the Storm very often.
I'll give it 4 chili peppers for like at least trying to add some extra colors to Reshaper, but like,
Yeah, I'll
I'm
give it
not
a
sure
3.
about the mana base.
5.5.
Is China Crusader still enabled all the time? Yeah, it is, right? You don't actually have any colored permanents in play.
No. 4 of Shining Crusader, turn 1, play a like red permanent try. That's a 5.5, I suppose.
Really? 5.5?
Poet.
You're not going to give it a 6 at least? I mean, it's a Reshaper deck. It's going to
Should
reshape
be like a
things.
6. Should be like a 6.
If regular Reshaper is a 6.5, and like I think if Casino Scam's a 6, this is a 5.5.
Fine. So moving on, Giant Poet is
On
playing.
the numbers.
Oh, this deck again.
Oh, this is the other version, right? Or is it the other version?
This is the
one
version with paint
3
and
unburdened.
burden range.
Yeah.
So this
Okay,
is Splashes Big Red. So we're gonna.
So there's 2 competing big red builds right now. Let's see who comes out on
guess.
top.
All right, we have. I didn't even put all the decks in here. Gosh.
Chumpek is playing Clearix, except it's nerfed now, so it doesn't have the infinite anymore. So I guess that's why Chumpek's emo, because they don't have the infinite anymore, so they're sad about that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Soul Warden.
That's my Game Plus Explorer. I made that one. Oh,
Wait, what?
That's my lair. That's my secret lair.
Oh, I thought you designed the card.
Man, I wish. I wish I designed love songs. That's awesome.
Did you? I don't remember if I already asked you, but like, did you submit any cards to the wild card?
I don't think I did. I'm not a card designer.
You missed
I don't
out.
even know why I'm still. I don't really know I'm still here, man. I don't play this format. I don't design cards for this format.
I appreciate you're here because I appreciate having someone that I have good chemistry with in the booth.
Yeah. The one MSEM match I can catch every 3 days with my schedule. And if you can commentate it, I can be there too. It works out perfectly.
You remember the unicorn game?
I do.
Yeah, wait, Styles, were you around? Were you around back then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. Because you were around back then too. Yeah. I mean,
I think this deck is kind of just bad without the combo.
Really?
Like
no, it's
there's a decent base here, but I think the deck needs the ability to combo to really be good. I've played against this deck multiple times.
But the nerfed version?
I haven't played against it without. I haven't played against it without the combo, but when I do play the deck, it's like there's a lot of value, but like you're looking at these, and I don't think this deck has the same legs without the combo. I just don't think it does.
Ashley, have you played against the version that had both Dark Sand Acolyte and like 8 copies of 2-drops that draw cards on life gain?
Yes. I mean, Sun Sigil Ordainer, Machi Nocia, Dark Sand Acolyte, those have been in this deck historically, I'm pretty sure.
Machi Initiate is somewhat recent, right?
It was against the deck when I played it last.
When was
time I
Magic Initiate
played it in
printed
GPN.
anyways? Because I remember
RCM wasn't. RCM hasn't been.
2023, which is 2 years ago by now. Wow.
Yeah, that was May of 2023. So it's bad time to be in the deck. I'm not gonna hate too much on it. Like it's probably a 5.5.
Wait, it's running China of the Veil. I just noticed it's running a sack package now.
That's true. Yeah, because on Gateless Explorer.
Wait, graveyard.
I mean, you have Keeper, the Sanctum, and Imp Den Mother. Imp Den
Yeah.
Mother. Wow. That's why it's emo clerics. That makes a lot more sense.
So like, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm starting to lean more on this deck not being as cohesive as it should be, because I feel like the sack stuff. Like, how does the sack stuff interact with Soul Sister stuff?
I think the whole interaction is just Keeper the Sanctum makes a token every once in a while. Sack your token.
There has to be some.
There really isn't.
There has to be some sort of other synergy, right? Because otherwise, you're not like you don't want to run the sack package just because you're randomly sacking one thing every turn.
I guess they're just. I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, well, I'll give it 3 chili peppers, I guess.
I think I'm gonna give this deck a 5.
Really, I think 5 is a bit low. I mean, 5 is what you gave Hersey's deck. We need
I
Hersey's
think
deck to be below
that feels
everyone.
about right. I mean, like if you compare it to Lilasaur's Reshaper, like that deck is worse than regular Reshaper. But I think that with this deck being a little bit messy without the combo, like you said, it's just not as cohesive. It doesn't have the same focus. I think that's going to lose. It's going to lose a decent amount of points from me for that reason.
Yeah, fair.
Ricky Rister's deck.
Oh.
It's burn.
Yeah, I still haven't found a replacement deck after Esper Kalen got nerfed. But that's also like partly because I haven't really been spending that much time actually playing MSEM recently. So
I'd ask you to explain your deck, but it's been around for a very long time now.
Not that long. It's only been around since Beyond the Blackwall, right? With Neon Claw Knight's edition suddenly like making it care about damage a lot.
Yeah.
Beyond the Blackwall was released about 10 months ago. So it's not yieldy deck or anything. But
yeah.
It's burn.
So
run Hatsuo's Maneuver. Pretty much all of these cards, but Neon Claw Knight were getting run like 3 years ago.
Yeah, but Neon Claw Knight is what makes it all cohesive.
The deck was already cohesive before that.
Yeah, but Neon Claw Knight makes it even more cohesive.
Okay.
So main difference between this month and last month is I finally cut all of the find greater purposes because I did not think those things worked out for me.
I heard, yeah.
Yeah. So
Hatsuo Maneuver has been in burn 4 days after Beyond the Blackwall released. You basically took this deck and won in league with it.
Yeah,
had a 4-1.
Exactly.
The only difference between that deck and this one is that you're on a main board Civ's cost and not on a Hatsuo's Maneuver. So this deck's been the format for 10 months. Hasn't changed at all. 1 fire.
Also, so I am experimenting with this. So sideboard, I'm running Obscuriate now. I'm testing this card out. I'm not sure how good it is, but like last
I feel like people just forgot about Obscuriate. Like that card never stopped being good. People just stopped running it for some reason.
Last
I think it's pretty solid.
I lost to ninjas because they could do instant speed creature stuff. So maybe running instant speed creature removal will help me against that matchup.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the next one.
I need to rate myself 5 chili peppers because I'll be commentating on my games.
Let's see. I'll rate this like a 6.5. Burn's good,
Yeah.
but we have a little blank that's running a deck that I have never seen before in any form. Although it's running Chattering Parrot, so this deck's goated.
So I think it's using Excavation Engine to kind of like gain like 17 life per turn or something. It's something like that.
Suppose.
Okay, what do you do with all that life?
I don't know.
But you're not
Can't just
casting
survive.
Craggon Crusher with it, so
I guess you're reanimating it with temporal resuscitation. Oh, restored Rose Order. Okay, I see. So
yeah.
Oh,
you
okay.
get-
Oh, that makes sense.
you get this thing
There you
out,
go.
you excavation engine your big thing, and then you reanimate it. So
And it
how are you getting stuff to the bottom of your deck?
The 2/1
Guzma's
drop.
Artisan, Chattering Parrot, both do it.
That's actually pretty
So-
cool.
Guzma's Ars. Why
That
does
is-
this effect exist in the format? Like just randomly bottoming cards out of your deck.
There was a set. There was a set that cared. I think Mias, and then the Euphorios or Porio or whatever. I think those are all in the same world. So there was a lot of idea of mirroring. So there was stuff at the bottom of your deck instead of the top of your deck.
That
I believe that's the idea, although I haven't looked into the lore.
and then I guess Guzma's Artisan can also sack itself to manifest a bomb card.
I don't think you'd want that, but it's a thing that can happen.
You blink your manifested thing to get your big thing. It doesn't seem like it.
I mean,
I don't think so.
I'm actually in the 3 of mainboard Seabrain Null Mage. Does that stop I think, is that for vanishing purposes? I don't know what that's like.
Yeah, I don't know what that's there for.
It's a fun card. I like cards that counter abilities, but I don't know why it's here.
They have 4 Blessed Sun Crusher in the sideboard.
What does that thing do? W or life?
It's power and toughness equal to your life total, I guess.
Okay, but it's 7 mana, so like, how are you ever getting it out?
I don't know. I mean, I
Oh
guess
my
you're doing the thing, but you're getting Blessed Sun Crusher instead of your 11/11 Trampler or your 10/10 First Strike Menace Trampler.
Oh my gosh.
which both seem like better choices than
I guess
this.
if your opponent breathes in Grave Hate, then you can bring in Blessed Sun Crusher and have a chance of actually hardcasting it, like if the game goes on really long.
Yeah, and then the other, we have some counter spells too. It's Unforbidden Treasure and Lost.
Wait,
Your
speaker of
Dreams.
Deliverance.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And another like
I don't think that
Another
works
thing.
the way you think it does.
I don't think that's. Yeah, I don't think that's good. I want to gain 17 life or put 1 counter onto my creature. Difficult choices.
Wait, is there some sort of random combo that we're not seeing between Speaker of Deliverance and something?
Is it something with like Gasol or whatever? Or
Probably. Gestalt's stupid. Does whatever.
So you, I guess you could start this thing onto the
Palm Silhouette did get nerfed, so
yeah.
And then there's 2 Core Light Paladins, which is a way to get your excavation engine, I guess.
I don't think that's nearly enough Core Light Paladins for how much you're relying on Excavation Engine to do your do things.
Yeah, for the fact that you also like, because you want to get Platinum Colossus into hand.
Why?
To use with Chattering Parrot.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Because half of your way to put stuff on bottom needs a card in hand already.
You
want it to get your Excavation Engine, which is like the card. You want a way to get Restore the Rose Order too, because you don't have a way to get that right now.
this deck shouldn't be on fetch lands either, right? Because if you shuffle your deck, then your whole plan's like kind of cooked.
Maybe you don't like the bomb card for your deck because you Charming Parrot hid something
Maybe
away.
you whiff.
it gives you extra looks, kind of, you know.
How exactly does it get you extra looks? Because it's all random, unless you're planning things out, right?
You can like, if you have 2 engines. Actually, that doesn't matter. Never mind.
You may put it into your graveyard. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess this gets 5 rose orders out of 5
Sure,
for being an archetype that I've never seen before. I think I'm gonna give it like a 4 out of 10. Like,
I mean, it's a deck, yeah.
Deck
it's a
exists.
functional deck. I think this has to be a 4. Like it's not running nearly enough card draw or card advantage. Your main engine requires like 4 cards because you need to restore the rose order to get stuff back. You need excavation engine to put the stuff on the bottom in your grave. You need a chattering parrot or Guzma's Argent to put it there in the first place. And chattering parrots are more common, and that requires you to have one of your targets in hand already.
And also, how do you beat?
And you
go on.
But you go, because
Okay, so how do you like? You don't have removal either, right?
there is a 4 of Lost City and the 4 Forbidden Treasure. 4 Forbidden Treasure main.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I think maybe a little like really hates getting their stuff countered.
You're in white. You could be on. I'd accept Journey's End over this, honestly.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, you have all that. You have 3 Seabreen Null Mages that I cannot find the purpose for. I'm sure there's one. Maybe interacts with Temporal Resuscitation.
You counter their fetch lands, I guess. That's how you.
You just run Confirm Hypothesis. Then you draw a card.
Confirm does not blow up fetch lands, though.
Yeah, but you can have your own fetch land.
You're thinking of Find Nothing.
Oh, Find that. Yeah, okay.
Is the one that draws a card.
Right.
Sure, yeah, run 4 of Find Nothing, man. Why not? Everyone searches for cards anymore. You might as well. Every deck is searching at some point, I'm pretty sure. You know?
Yeah.
Alright, last deck.
Sure, let's move on.
Yeah, we've talked enough. Spirit Script.
We haven't seen that in a while.
There's 2 Find Nothings in Maine. Look at that. What are the odds? Speak it shall appear.
Wait, did I put it in?
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Imperial Siege. Did I get rid of that, or I kept it in?
You have 3 Imperial Siege and 2 Find Nothing.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I put I just made this in like 10 minutes. I just put together a bunch of stuff, and I thought it'd be decent.
It's a Spirit Script deck.
I mean, I guess that's enough King Dancer targets.
Yeah, it's also Breach the Lilies too. So like Breach the Lilies target Find Nothing or Imperial Siege is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Someone's going to either end up really salty or really or the deck's just going to fall over itself.
Probably.
What Daughter of...
I think I wouldn't.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd say I probably wouldn't be on Daughter of Suisei.
Suisei? Pronounce it correctly?
Would it be Suisei?
I think it's Suisei.
No, it's like Sui, like Ronaldo.
That's what I've heard other people pronounce it as.
I don't think I've seen this card before.
We found it, so.
I played this card once.
I don't know what
before.
I don't know what mythology like this set's based on.
It's Japanese something.
Yeah, it'd be like Suisei.
Yeah.
It would be Sui. That's not how Japanese phonology works.
I'm so asked.
Bozo. You if you want to correct me, you better be correct yourself, man. I don't think I'd be on this. I don't really know. I don't think 2 damage is like enough. But then again, you don't really have. I mean, Unceasing Flames. Yeah, I think that's like the one thing I would change. Imperial Siege is. I mean, who's on basic lands anymore, right? You know, you're sad against like mono red, which is actually pretty bad. It's very common.
Who am I playing? Let's see. Oh, I'm playing against a Reshaper deck. That actually works out pretty good.
You can't land.
Yeah,
Actually,
sure.
wait, it does work out really nicely. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty
and
good
it's
against Reshaper.
and it's Leosaurs with like no colors too. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think that's advantageous for you.
All right, cool.
So Styles, do you know about like did you consider running the new King Dancer target in blue green? I forgot what the card was called.
I haven't really been up to date.
What was
I
that?
wasn't even gonna play, but I was convinced to.
What was the new set called again? Like MS
Bring to
Let me
is it
find
Bring
it.
to Harmony?
Bring to Harmony?
I can find it.
Yeah, Bring to Harmony.
What does it do?
It's it
Wait,
is
is it
choose
Bring to
one, destroy
Harmony?
target. It's choose one, return target creature to its owner's hand, draw a card, or destroy target artifact or enchantment.
Yeah, it's this
Yo, it
card.
actually seems pretty good.
You should be playing it over
Yeah.
Nature's Claim. Probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably.
Well,
No.
when I was helping Styles
There's-
with this, I didn't know that. I forgot that card existed.
That's fine.
There is one more deck too, which Post Cannon Girl, which has been in the GP chat, did not submit correctly, but it looks like it's gonna get slotted in. So unfortunately,
So-
it's not in there. But
can we like talk
You
about
want
it
to
at
take a
least?
look at it?
yeah, it's in GP. If you scroll up a little bit, the
Yeah,
deck
but I
list
need
got
to
like
somehow
copy
get
pasted
it
in.
into my browser so that I can
Open
point
it in Cockatrice.
I'm not
Yeah.
pointing OBS at Cockatrice right now.
Well, you gotta. Yeah, I mean,
Fine, I'll do that just for you.
yeah.
You could
So
also
this
just open
deck-
it in Dreadrise.
Oh yeah, good point. How do I open stuff
That's
in
smarter.
Dreadrise?
Yeah.
Dreadrise, it works now again.
Whoa, it works. Crazy. Hard to believe.
Well, by works I mean it has the new cards.
Okay, decks.
Uh-oh.
Deck editor. Text preview.
Probably.
Paste it in. Update text. No text from decks.
Yeah.
No.
This deck is running a lot of cards that I haven't seen before. It's on Signet Ring, which is like a
What the
one mana to scry run, and then 2 mana tap it, sack it, add 2 mana of different
The following
colors.
cards are illegal. Tinker's Tools, Kelly Throg's Workshop, Black Hole's Edge, Shikai's Doubts. Oh.
Well, that's not
spaces.
true.
There's spaces at the end, probably.
Hey, can someone like just build the deck real quick, submit it to Dreadrise, and just give me the link so I don't have to make it work?
I mean,
What I can do is copy it, open it in Cockatrice, and then export it from Cockatrice into Dreadrise.
Styles, did you give yourself infinite ranking out of 10?
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I should.
Wait, if I can
I
do,
should
if
rate your
they can do
deck.
it, I should also do it for myself. Wait, how do you?
Yeah,
why?
I can
sure.
do it for myself then.
Why
Wait.
did you rate it only a 6.5? Burns really good. It should be higher than 6.5. It should be a 7 at
Wait,
least.
I have an idea. Once he gets negative infinity.
People are gonna look at this afterward the stream and then wonder what the hell went on.
Probably.
We're just having
Alright,
a joy.
I probably gotta head off now.
Okay.
Thanks for running it.
Wait, why is it a different font?
Please.
Alright, see you guys.
Yeah.
7. Is Burn a 7? Yeah, it's pretty good.
Okay, that's a
It's
5.
getting too much.
Negative. I think we gave this thing like a 6.5.
Ricky, I'm DMing the Dreadrise link to you
Okay, thanks.
for Gal's deck.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for your opinion, Ricky, because I do not know what this deck is on about. It's an artifact deck.
Shining
I'm
Crucible.
looking because there's Tinkerer's Tools, Armor Piles. There's 4 of experimental upgrades,
Oh,
which is choose a permanent you control, reveal the top 5. You can merge a card that shows a card type with a chosen permanent under it, and it gets those cards' abilities.
Oh yeah. Okay, so this deck uses experimental upgrades to do some funky things. I don't know what those funky things are, but they're definitely very funky.
Yes, this is a good deck.
Yeah.
Upgrades is kind of a crazy card.
Yeah.
So I think you're like supposed to you're like you hope to merge your Rust Shell Crustacean into a Shining Crusader.
Or Seismic Colossus, or that kind of stuff.
Yeah, something like yeah.
Yeah.
Then you get your like untouchable Vigilance Trample, Lifelink Haste gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control thing when you swing at your opponent and you win. And actually the deck got improved because it has addition of Ubista Forge now.
Which is another way to generate
This deck,
creatures.
if it
that
does
are
the
big.
thing, it is extremely good. It's just a matter of like actually doing the thing. At least that's my opinion on it.
Should the deck be on more of like the Reshaper package, the Reshaper tutor package?
I don't think so. Or,
I mean,
like,
then just
sorry,
run
what do you mean?
Reshaper.
I mean,
Like,
like
I
this
think
deck-
you don't want to
this deck
run
is
Reshaper in this deck.
Like this
I
deck
could see,
is
like,
running
Fire
artifacts.
Storm.
The deck is running artifacts, but this is only a Reshaper deck in the way that there's some artifacts that are good enough to run in any artifact deck. I don't think there's
Yeah.
anything. I don't think Reshaper would do a lot here.
yeah, fair enough.
You're just not on the cards that really benefit from a Reshaper
mean,
like effect.
You do spam the board, right? Maybe you do want do you spam the board even? I guess you don't really spam the board that much.
Observer or
Yeah,
Rise
you're
is
playing
probably
like a couple creatures. You're going tall in the stack.
You have War Fans. I guess that thing technically. Wait, why are you playing one copy of War Fans?
Tinker's
I don't know.
Tools, I guess.
Are you playing? Oh yeah, you are playing Tinkers. Oh, I guess maybe it's a Rust Shell Crustacean target.
Oh yeah, true.
So
Rust Shell
you can-
Crustacean.
Yeah.
You can grab this thing and get 2 more artifacts on board for 1.
Mm-hmm. There's also
find-
the legs in here.
It makes your thing big based on number of artifacts you control. So I mean, yeah.
Ooh.
It doubles up your Rust Shell Crustacean, basically.
Ooh.
Yeah. And makes your Rust Shell Crustacean hard to block, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're not going to continue.
Experimental upgrades. I mean, that feels
I'm very
about
interested
right.
to see how this deck plays out. I really like upgrades.
Yeah, this is not a card I've seen before, but quite interesting. I think I'm gonna give it 5 mechanics out of 5.
I'll give it.
Al's been
Yeah.
playing like up this deck like sporadically over the past like 5-6 months.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll give it 5. I really like this deck.
I'll give it. Sure, I'll give it
I'll
5.
give it a 6.5 for rating.
Really? You think that it's that powerful?
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm overrating it, but I've lost to this deck a lot of times.
I
Fair.
mean, if we're right, then we're right. You know.
What do you
You
mean?
have to make-
Who gave it negative infinity?
I did. Well, it has the
Why?
actual rating in brackets next to it. So,
So
you know.
that's all the decks, and notably, I'm searching for rot, and there's no. I don't find any matches for rot, so there's nobody on rot decks this GP.
I don't understand. Rot is like the best card in the format.
The problem
like-
is none of like the control people played this month.
The way I've worded it is like whenever I play Magic, either I need to run Rot or I get my face kicked in by a deck that does lose to Rot. Like that's most of why I haven't really
If
played a
Rachel
lot.
loses to rot. That's the problem. Big Red loses to rot.
Is it?
Does it?
I don't know.
Not
Fireweaver
really.
survived.
I mean,
rot.
On the Veil.
Two new survives. It blows up your Ninasir's Mark. It blows up a lot of your stuff. Like the only thing that survives is
It
Tunu
blows
and
up
Fireweaver.
everything except for Tunu.
Yeah, but
Pretty much.
Mono Red doesn't need to play to the board that much against a rot deck, right?
Yeah. I mean, you have
But
to put.
it does lose. I guess I'm like what I'm thinking is it loses to Beyond the Veil, so it probably also loses to Rot.
Well, no, the difference between Beyond the Veil
Probably
and
wrong.
rot is that Beyond the Veil decks can like value grind beyond the Veil way more than rot decks can.
Is Oros' mana value considered to be 2?
I think so.
Yes.
So then, yeah, you kind of
It's literally
the
just
advantage being that you have so much burn and so much like culminating chaos and value and things like that. You don't really need your board, but you lose rot.
But like if you get
Master
to
Zoo loses to
Valerie,
rot. Reshaper loses to rot.
I'm
Ramp
honestly
doesn't
the
really
rot
lose to
deck,
rot.
I just legitimately don't enjoy the kind of playstyle of rot decks. So
yeah, fair.
Yeah. Either you need to be running like the best deck in the format, or you need to be running rot. Like that's how it feels. It probably isn't accurate, but that's how it feels right now.
Yeah.
I'm also not skilled enough that
A Little Blanks deck loses to rot, right? Like even that deck, it's based on a 2-mana enchantment and a 1-mana artifact.
Yeah,
That
that's
loses
the
to
funny
rot.
thing. It loses to rot.
Clerics loses to rot. Of course, the Reshaper does. Toka
lose to rot. Foxbird loses to rot. Dodger.
Toka kind of loses to rot.
Big Red is like halfway there.
Dodger doesn't lose to rot because other than
Big Red is halfway there. Nyx loses to rot. Toasty probably loses to rot. Another Big Red. Kentrade probably loses to rot.
Zoo loses to rot.
Dravos can probably beat rot.
Dravos, I think Dravos is in a worse position than Dodger is against rot.
No, never mind. I
Because you're more reliant on like your Field Tender and Petal Weaver and
you
stuff.
lose to rot depending on when the rot hits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Because also dependent on a 2-mana enchantment, Primal Resurgence, so on.
Kotkan loses to rot.
Scam doesn't lose to rot because it has like no permanence. Yeah, Legends loses to rot. Hersey doesn't lose to rot, I don't think.
I don't think Hersey loses to rot because you just reanimate Klong Shaman and win.
Like there might be board states where you're sad to be rotted, but I don't think it matters. Big Red, Toka loses to rot. Reshaper loses to rot.
I don't know if Tuka loses to rot.
I mean, it'll blow up your whole board. It doesn't lose to rot, but it's gonna lose board to rot because you're gonna like if you don't really have a good way to get Toka back. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Reshaper loses to rot, and we have Big Red again. Clerics loses to rot. Burn.
Debatable. It has a lot of non-creatures, but
it's annoying,
the creatures do a lot of lifting.
Well,
rot isn't any better than Careless Violence, so.
Yeah, like if your creature's getting some damage early, they've already done their job, and everything else is just gravy.
Yeah, I think rot is actually bad against burn. Yeah.
It beats A Little Blanks from the bottom deck, I guess.
I guess it kills engine. Yeah.
Because it destroys your engine. So if you have like one of the pieces of the engine out and you don't have the full engine set up,
you can also just like engine in one turn, gain 17 life off Crusher, and like you're chilling still.
You would need at least like to build the engine a single turn. You would need 6 mana because you would need play Restore the O's Order, get something on bottom with Artisan or Parrot, activate Excavation Engine. But if you already have something on board, then you don't lose to rot.
The card on bottom and not reanimate it, and just like gain 15 life.
Okay,
like,
sure.
This deck,
so you have
this deck also kind of loses to targeted removal, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Like it has like a creature on board, and no way to really protect it except for some counter spells.
This Sun Crusher is really funny.
It's so unusual.
Styles and then, rot.
Styles is the deck that would be running rot if it wasn't black.
I don't think they can afford to run rot in this tight of. No, they have enough resources to run rot. Yeah, they could be running rot if they had the colors.
Unless you're a deck that loses to rot, you should be running rot. Really.
Unless you lose to rot or can't run rot, you should be running rot.
If your deck doesn't lose to rot, then you run rot. Even if your deck can't support it, you could be an Is It Storm deck. If you don't lose to rot, put it in the sideboard and figure it out, right?
Use your rituals.
run a Dominion or 2. Do something.
It's kind of cringe. Like, to be honest, it's kind of cringe, and people don't want to be cringe, so no one's gonna run it.
the deck I've been kind of working on is a deck that runs Rot, which is a Fareeb's command deck. I'm not convinced it's any good.
The thing about Rot is no one is like people like running decks that lose to Rot. I don't know. And like I said, the control people aren't playing this month.
Yeah.
Before Zera got nerfed, I had a deck with Muse of Summer Revelry that was basically just a combo deck.
I'd like. Oh, was it basically what was your combo? Was there some What Remains of Zera was the deck I had?
Yeah, it does have What Remains of Samuel Quinn, but it's also like if you just play enough Fulfill Twisted Dreams, you can do anything you want, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds a lot like What Remains.
And Muse lets you do
literally-
whatever you want whenever you cast.
Were you running? Did you know that there was What Remains of Zera had 8 1-card combos? You just need 7 lands for them.
8 1-card combos.
4 Anran's Radical, 4 Tower Over the Sky.
Yeah. Anran's Radical is really good.
Yep.
I've put like 2
1-card combos is like I said, you need 7 lands, so it's not as good as you think.
Here's a Megalocrack and Scam deck. That's running Rot.
What deck list are you looking at now?
I'm just looking at my own deck list.
I'm gonna
Something
check
like
Dread Rise, see what decks on there are running Rot.
Oh, here's a build of my mono blue flyers. Did I just cut Crossing the Fog?
Sure, I guess I'll look at Rot.
I could I could this. Yeah, Rot.
Decks with Rot, Biohazard Control,
Biohazard.
Villainy, Sultai, your deck from a few GPs ago.
I think the problem is it shrinks. It shrinks the room for deck building a lot.
That's funny. I didn't. Oh yeah, we did run Rot in the sideboard of Squirrel Calling originally, but we cut it.
Like, it just shrinks the room for deck building, because, like, if you have a deck that's, like... If you have a deck that doesn't lose to Rot, if you're not running Rot, you will lose to basically every deck that loses to Rot. Unless you're running a specific, like, counter piece against it. And you can draw it after boards.
If you are in black-green or are able to splash one of the colors if you're on one of them, and you are a pretty much any kind of control deck, it's kind of an auto-include.
I mean, that's true of a lot of cards, though.
Like, auto-includes are fine, but I just don't like how... Like, I feel like there needs to be a shakeup in that regard of just... There's 2 kinds of decks. Decks that lose to Rot, decks that run Rot. Nothing else really has room. You can't be slow enough to not lose to Rot and beat decks that don't lose to Rot, at least not easily. Like, if you're reliant on permanence over 4 mana, your deck has to be really, really tight. Or, like I said, have specific hate cards for certain matchups.
The thing about Rot decks is they're usually not decks that rely on big permanence. They're decks that just like don't care about their permanence very much, or like don't need permanence very much, like, you know.
Because last GP and like Steward of Empire's Cradle's been nerfed now, but I was playing against the deck that had that and like Into Sea's Masterpiece, Soul Reader, Unexplored Regions, Chronicles,
that's me and Toast.
Sights Beyond. Yeah, and I got like Doo-Dooed on, and I was running because I was running Mono Black Unearth, which I was like, oh, this deck's good now. I made some changes.
Some Unearth cards nerfed, though. I guess you weren't playing them anyway.
I don't think anything I care about got nerfed.
A bunch of stuff I care about got nerfed.
Let's see.
I shouldn't have self-reported.
Yeah. Steward's bad now. Tinker's bad now.
Descent
Long
is bad
Forgotten
now.
got nerfed.
Descent is bad now. Masterpiece is
Mhm.
still good, but kind of
Yeah.
worse.
I don't
Spirit
think
of the
there's any.
Sands is unplayable.
How
Steward
Locust
is
Sentry
worse.
got nerfed, I guess,
Sorry?
because as Tal got nerfed a while ago. I really like Tal. That's like such a fun card.
Wasn't that a buff, or am I dumb?
I guess I don't know if it. Let me see.
Oh,
Because the
is it because
difference
of
is,
Q or something? I don't know, cause all they did is change it to a replacement instead of a trigger.
I guess there's an advantage if you're up against a Seabreen Null Mage,
No,
and you get to.
I'm
I think
pretty
it's a
sure
nerf for like
it's.
Master Zoo reasons.
Oh yeah, fair. I guess that's what.
But like Barton exists too, so like
I did have a deck that was
Tal is
those kind of
literally
pieces.
worse than Barton in so many ways. Like
Flying.
fair.
Also, like, yeah,
But
Barton's
also
pretty
like
good.
Unveil only hits your opponent, hits every type, like that's 3 upsides versus Tal.
Yeah.
And
The
Tal
thing
only
is,
has
like,
one
but
fly.
yeah, the downside of Barton is that it's a 1/2, I
Well, no,
guess,
the
and
downside of Barton is that's
Tal's a 2/1.
is that it's hard to
Like it's
cast.
literally easier to kill.
Hmm?
Tal's literally easier to kill. So
The downside of
but it's got 2 power.
the downside of Barton is that
I don't
it's
think you care about beating down with your hate bear very much.
it's hard to cast
2
if
damage
you're
a turn isn't bad.
not in the colors.
That's also true, yeah. Barton, like, if you're splashing blue or white,
Also,
like, the difference
Barton's a
between white, blue,
or on the backside.
you have to flip
So-
it, though. Like, Tal you can run in a mono blue deck. Or, like, Tal you can run in a deck that's splashing blue easier than Barton. Like, if
Fair.
you're like a black, like a red blue deck, I guess, then if you can't flip Barton, then it's a lot more debatable. If you
But
can
also
flip
you can
Barton,
play
then you probably should be on it.
Also, Barton is one-sided for some reason. So you can play it in
That's
non-creature decks, which is really funny.
that's true. Usually you don't need to hit multiple types with Tal though. Like
It's really funny when someone plays a Tal and then I mean it out a fire erasure on it because they name sorcery because I'm playing Phoenix.
oh yeah, I played that and then I played against ninjas. I don't know if I even played against this deck. I think I got like bronchitis or something.
Right.
That was a couple GPs ago, actually. I think I was just like busy for 3 days straight, and I had no way to play Magic, which is also why I stopped.
Ricky, are we still streaming?
Yeah, we are. Don't you love
Okay.
this content?
This is important. We are asking important questions about the health of the format
So
and rot.
So, Asti, would you like to make a post and format feedback about rot?
I think they've already been.
I imagine.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the council knows about it. Like people have been complaining about. People have been complaining about rot for months and months.
Complained about it. So what? And then I used that as an opportunity to complain about Beyond the Veil, and then Beyond the Veil got nerfed.
Yeah, but Beyond Veil was way more egregious.
Yeah, we were talking about rot in January. We're talking about rot in like.
We're always talking about rot is like.
The council knows about rot, and that's just the decision they've made of rot can live. Because it has to be the control card, and it's like the one thing you can do.
I
don't know how you fix that without going full.
While we're kind of on the topic of this, I think one philosophy that I've heard from council that I very much disagree with is if you're a fair deck and you get to turn 7 or 8 and your goal is to get there, I saw this a lot with Heart Attack, you deserve to win that game, which is just I don't know. I really just disagree with that as just fundamentally.
It's also the thing it limits the color options for decks too, because
Yeah, a
either
lot of
you're
control decks are Sultai.
because you
Like,
have to be in green black. Because a control deck that doesn't have rot just isn't gonna
you can
work.
run like a
Decks can generate.
as a
There's way
biohazard.
too many cards that generate card advantage and create threats. Like you need even like a board wipe isn't enough with some matchups. You need rot. Like you need rot to beat
Biohazard and
Reshaper.
Raw in one deck would be evil.
Yeah, so like you need rot to beat like Reshaper. You can't beat Reshaper with a board wipe. You need it
Like an
against
artifact board wipe for that. Like a good one.
yeah.
Like-
Artifact enchantment
Which-
board wipe. Doesn't need to hit
But you-
creatures.
Why run that when you can run rot? You know,
Conjuring
or
of Locust.
against big red. Well, see, why run Conjuring of Locust when the deck doesn't run artifacts that cost more than 3 anyways? Like against Fireweaver, like big red, like you're gonna hit Exhilarating Presence, Ninasir's March, Valerie Creep Hack, which is a dog in its own right. Like
Yeah, I mean,
how
Council, if you're listening, Aspie brings up good arguments. I don't like Rot, but I also kind of
the
admit
problem
like,
is the thing is
think
like
the
we
thing
can't get
about
rid of rot.
is as long as people aren't playing it, I'm fine with it. But as soon as it becomes popular, it be like I will disagree with it forever. I will just like
I think
will not like it whatsoever.
the only solution to the problem that would satisfy me is like a complete shakeup of the format, because
May
the
Madness
problem
is good.
isn't so much that rot exists. The problem is how necessary it is.
Yeah.
Like, I think getting rid of rot is worse because it means that decks, like, there just isn't an avenue. It's just
mean,
you
look
have
at-
to make the most broken deck or you can't win.
Look at like I want you to look at Halford and tell me this card did not see play in some mono black decks.
Alfred did see play in mono black decks.
No, but like there were quite a few mono black decks that weren't running it. Like it did
I don't
see
run
play-
it because I'm on Unearth.
Yeah, but like that makes sense, you know? But like villainy decks like that weren't running it. Like mono black mid range wasn't running it. I saw in a few lists. Like, how does this card exist and not see more play? I don't know if that's a MSEM players need to play more Halford or
They probably do. Halford's awesome. This card's so
Halford is
annoying.
such a fucked up card, yeah.
Yep.
But like that is the length you need to push a 4-drop. Like look at Rova as well. Like these are the kind of 4-drops you need in MSEM.
Yeah.
Also, look
And
at
Rove is the
Look at
only
Ricky.
one of that.
Like,
The
Ricky's
only one of that
actual
cycle that
green
you
4-drop.
can that is seeing play.
Vicky, why don't you describe your ideal green 4-drop to everyone?
also, if you bring up 4-drops, can you also bring up Kalen Whirlwind and how I'm still salty about that?
Kalen dodges rot now.
Buff. It's a buff. Okay, I'm telling you guys, it's a buff. It doesn't die to rot now. That's legitimately why I was playing it in
Like
Concord.
that's the problem. Kalen was such an insanely good card at 3 mana, and the difference between it 3 and 4 is like the deck isn't worth running.
Yeah.
I think the deck is worth
Like that's how tight the metagame is, and that's more the issue than
I think
there needs to be more. I don't know. I'm not a designer. I shouldn't be
the
speaking.
funny
Really,
thing is
'cause
MSEM probably like isn't as powerful as Canon Modern.
Yeah, but
That's the funny thing.
the weird thing is like, because when you compare paper magic output to MSEM output, like I think the amount of sets that enter modern that have no like one card maybe that could see play in modern, when comparatively like every MSEM set will have a bunch of cards that are designed to
Every
see play in the
MSEM set
format.
is a Horizon set almost. Or like a
Well, that's what
Horizon set.
New Horizons is Horizons. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I like new cards being added.
The problem is
And
when,
I like
like I think the perfect example of a set is like of a set that shakes up the format a ton. This is right when I joined, and this is really weird timing because it was also the same month as May Madness. Like the format, I think completely changed from April to May last year because A, May Madness, obviously, so many cards got changed in that, and B, Beyond the Black Wall. Like that
Yeah.
set is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
wow,
Like it
that
added
set is
like
so powerful.
because what you got Bite Blitz, which made prowess decks runnable. You got
Got
Kernel Quarantine, which was huge. You got
Chaos
Butterfly
Rumbler.
Rebellion that
Yep.
formed a whole deck. You
What
got
else do you have? Root Corruption as one of the like.
To actually list these
that
cards now.
yeah, Neon Claw
Corruption,
Knight, obviously the modules,
Rand's
Chaos
Radical.
module and the rare monocolored modules. A lot of those saw play.
Rand's Radical. What else is there? There's also like, what else?
Petal
am
of
I
a
thinking?
Heart sees play.
Petal of a Heart. I don't know what other VTB cards, but there's like a ton of them. It's actually insane. Log Dredging, Qubit saw play. Unlicensed Replication sees play.
Does it? I've seen that card before.
Bastion Chaplain saw play. What else? I'm just looking through the set right now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
By the way, guys,
Nox.
this won't be on the VOD, so yeah.
Evermind's Watch saw play. Also, Evolution's End. This card exists and it just doesn't see play. What world are we
Evolution.
living in?
It's bad compared to Journey's End.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And OB. It's like,
Imagine paying 2 mana for a removal spell. What are we playing? Standard? Psh, get out
Faithful
of town.
Absence. We are playing Standard. It's Faithful Absence.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Bastion, Note of the Free, and Blackwall's Edge
Bastion and
lands.
like, yeah, those guys. Let me just
Bastion, Note of the Free was like the worst
also
part of that deck.
Sleeve is a card I need to experiment with more. It's like Dread Return, but with an actual mana cost. And I think there's
So
some
it's
kind of fucked up stuff you can do with this.
Dread Return, but it costs mana, so it's bad. Bad Dread Return.
Except it's good because you can also like. Truk and I were talking about like making a Road to Awe deck. Like you just like, do this, reanimate your Clawing Shaman, win.
Yeah. There's that card that makes all of the like power cards too. Power Control. That was getting experimented with at least.
A Splinter Entanglement. All the Curses cards were pretty good.
Yeah.
Attack Vector saw a tiny bit of play.
Process Termination sees a little bit of sideboard play.
Ember Core Grazer also saw a bit of play.
Yeah, this is like Soul Synthesizer for the artifact decks.
Yeah.
You got Total Surveillance saw play too, didn't it? Wasn't there?
Yeah, it got nerfed.
There was a time before it cost 1 where you could just play.
Saw playing Bitstorm.
No, it didn't.
What card?
Combo deck. It saw play in a deck. I don't remember. On BTB's release, people were playing
it's not a good deck. Nope, it was the worst part of the deck.
Playing combo decks. Qubit obviously saw some play. Relive Reality. I love this card. It is so broken.
What's Qubit?
Quantum Bit.
Oh.
Relive Reality. More people should play this card. I can't believe that I'm like pretty much the only person playing this card. Like, it is so good.
It's just more expensive from Ancient Tomes.
But it's
that's I've seen play a while ago. I mean, yeah, you can discard a card.
From great. Imagine this in like. You play this in Unearth with Treacherous Warden. You dump it off Treacherous Warden. Like, what Treacherous Warden does is it dumps the missing piece of your Unearth spell, Relive, and itself again. And you just have this kind of, frankly, kind of crazy engine that just kills your opponent fast.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I mean, I remember I was around in the format when New Horizons came out, like the Horizon set.
Wait, New Horizons? What's that?
It is
Horizon?
No, it was.
Wait,
it's from like 2021. It has remember when Brutal Blow saw play? A lot of these guys don't see
whoa.
play anymore. They did at some point. Like
Whoa, okay. What? Soul's Attendant saw play? I'm looking through the set, seeing if I see any cards I've seen like that much. Powder Scatters, Reveal
End of all
Eternity.
things was in this set. Endless Helpless Souls was in this set.
Oh, whoa.
Forked Pillar was in this
Void
set.
Portal was
Oh,
in
that's
here
not
as
good
well.
anymore.
Well, what else?
Gold Retriever sees a little bit of
Mystery
play.
of the Crash Class. Rainy Night Lovers.
That card's been nerfed like 3 times, I think.
Del Squad Revolutionary for Warrior Cats combos.
A lot of these cards are actually bad now. Like, I'm living in the past too
Well, a
much.
bunch of them got nerfed.
I remember like Rainy Night Lovers, Reveal Eternity still sees play. I know that. Sear Flesh was in
So good.
Solar
Wow,
Flare.
not many of these cards see play.
Soul's Attendant is in the Soul deck. Void Portal
Adam's
doesn't
in this
see
set.
play. Waxing Angel used to see play. It didn't get nerfed, it just got bad. Like, that's the thing. That was like 4 years ago, almost at this point.
I wonder, like, how different, like, what was MSEM's power level compared to Canon Modern at the start of its creation versus, like, now?
It was probably closer to Canon, Canon Modern.
Closer to, it was probably at like what Pioneer is at now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. That was 2017. I was like in Pampers.
I found the first deck to ever Decklist, and it looks kind of reasonable. Like,
Well, you don't know what deck.
it was a blue-red prowess deck. Like, I think you could legitimately win a game with that deck.
You also don't know what cards changed, so because they didn't start tracking change lists until like sometime in.
I actually had to find out the hard way that there was a card rename.
Yeah, that too.
What card?
Spell Pierce. It used to have a different name that I forgot. But then they changed it to match the canon one, I assume.
Let me see. It used to be Spell Stutter, which now I think is an actual card.
Now, I played Spell Stutter in Standard in my fairy deck. It's a cool card.
It's a card. The old days. Why? I think the earliest deck I remember coming out was maybe Alara? Because I remember doing a lot of drafts of that set. Actually, like I remember being around for like the New Horizons reveal and stuff, but like I don't remember Riddles of Revio and Arcadai entering the format.
You guys are boomers. My first canon set was Neon Dynasty.
My first canon set was like Ravnica Allegiance. I've not been playing this game that long.
Do I need to say my first canon set?
You should.
Okay, it's like Cons of Tarkia or something.
You really brushed over that.
Yeah, I know.
Ricky's old. Laugh at Ricky.
Also, my first experience actually playing Magic was on Cockatrice.
Now think about it. Now you're a dev for Cockatrice.
I know, it's like 10 years later. And now I'm actually... I finally contributed back to Cockatrice.
Yeah.
Now you're causing crashes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, Asti, are you still on like Cockatrice 2.10?
I started getting the beta upgrades
Okay, good.
now, so it's
Oh,
like
let's go, Asti.
beta something. I don't really get most of it. Because the way that the decklist thing works now is it causes the decklist screen to scroll in a way I don't like. Which I don't know if that's like there's not much
I mean, just
margin
complain
on the
about it.
left.
Just complain about it in the Cockatrice Discord, and maybe they'll fix it.
Nah.
That's my strategy.
I do like the addition of sets. I don't really use them because MSEM already had a solution for that. But
I don't use them
cool.
at all, so I haven't contributed to that part of the code at all.
I think it doesn't it does kind of annoy me because if I add a card to a deck now, it's gonna add it with the set. But cards that were in the deck already don't have a set associated.
Yeah.
So and also they're like technically different
Also, like you
too, I
said, that
think.
like when I first got the beta update, they didn't have the option to export without set a number, which means when submitting to MSEM, I had to manually remove every single thing when I exported from Cockatrice.
See?
And then they fixed it a few
Yeah.
days later, but like
This is why we need beta testers.
The visual deck storage also just looks bad.
What? Excuse
I don't
me?
like the way it looks.
okay, that's just wrong though.
But it's really
I
useful.
just don't like the way. It doesn't do anything.
What?
It just shows my
It
decks.
looks nice.
So you
Yeah,
can,
that's the point.
you can sort by
prefer the
most
deck
recently
storage,
loaded.
and
What was
you
that?
also get a visual of what colors you can use tags.
Okay, so the thing that actually matters is that you can sort by most recently loaded. And it also like you can also get it to show up in the game lobby. So if you sort by most recently loaded and then go into game lobby, you can just directly click onto your deck instead of having to go through
Why don't you just, like-
open deck and then go through your folder
I mean,
structure.
you could still implement that into
Wait, hold on. There's a zip folder in my deck list or my deck file for some reason. Hold on. Where's my deck folder at?
Do you guys name your decks?
No, I just use file names.
Yeah, same with me. I think I've named like one deck.
I don't name any of them.
I named the file.
Yeah.
It's really funny because I have like I've said this a few times, but I have a deck called Dumb, a deck called Stupid, and a deck called the slowest combo deck known to man. And I'm still not sure which is which.
Let's see. I have my mono black deck is called the Yay Fen deck because it was originally based around popular hand show card Yay Fang, and then it basically just turned into an unearthed deck because Yay Fang isn't actually good. Can I have the nitrous? Deck runs
My
nitrous
deck is
renewer.
Big red, mono red, because I built a non-mono red big red deck at the same time.
I have a deck called Uncanny Deck, which is an uncanny investor deck.
Let me see what I have.
This deck be good?
Amethyst.cod. I think that was an unearthed deck using Descend. Cardiac Arrest.cod. I think that was
that
a
a
heart
hard-
attack deck.
No way.
I
I have
know.
Bad Grixis Control Deck, which is a Sultai control deck. It's still bad.
Nerf.cod.
Land deck? What's land deck? Oh, it's a ramp deck. Oh, this is Ricky's The Disappearance of Faye deck. Okay.
Life in all caps.cod.
Oh, actually.
That was a Bant control deck, I think.
I do have a lot of MSCDH decks I'm never gonna play because no one plays MSCDH anymore.
I have one. Well, the people who play it, they're just like, I don't know, they coordinate somewhere else.
They might, honestly, because like
Because they're just like, we're running a game. We need a fourth. Anyone want to join?
yeah. And I end up being so I don't know. There's also still a thing at the top that says MSCDH Tuesday nights at like 9 Eastern.
Oh yeah, it still says that.
Not true. Yeah, the thing is, like, the people that play MSEM don't want to play casual Magic, and the people
The
that
funny
play
thing is,
MSCDH don't want to
is
play MSEM, so they're just
it
completely
started
separate
out
groups.
with EDH, and then I started playing Magic Arena, and then I'm like, wow, 60 card is kind of cool. And then the people who played EDH with me, they all quit Magic. So then I just stopped playing EDH, and I pretty much haven't played it since. And
MSEM is the most time I spend thinking about Magic cards anymore. I haven't actually played it. Like, I have one friend with a Pioneer deck. So that's the
I
only
literally
format I
have
play.
not been to a canon, like played with canon Magic cards since like I think the last set I actually cared about was Karlov Manor. Everything after that, I just legitimately don't care. And then I see Jumbo Cactuar, and I'm just like, what the fuck is Wizards of the Coast doing? And then,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
don't standard like I don't really like playing Magic because I like brewing around formats that are more stable than
I
standard. Because like with
I
standard, I
quit,
feel like there's a lot more of you have to like know what's good because
I
it's
quit
constantly
standard after
changing.
Arcane Bombardment rotated. I had like 20 decks with that card.
Is that like the 6 mana enchantment from Streets of New Capenna?
Yes, the 6 mana 4 red enchantment. There's
Yeah.
like a few people on like there's this one guy on YouTube who was also a Arcane Bombardment enthusiast, and like half of his videos would be on Arcane Bombardment text. And I
My
would use it as
favorite
inspiration.
my favorite standard deck, I didn't play it. It was when I played against an FNM. It was Prime Speaker Vanifar,
Oh,
and so what you would do is you would sack your like 1-drop. It was probably a ramp creature.
oh, you get the
Get
hall monitor.
Corridor Monitor,
Oh yeah,
untap,
corridor monitor. Yeah.
sack, get Hyrax Tower Scout, untap, get Nightmare Shepherd. I got doo-dooed on because I was running some awful decks I've been playing for like 2 months at that
I think
point.
we've legitimately just been like having a ton of fun with just playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Honestly, ever since I started playing that, like
Yeah.
I've just had once you learn the game, I think it is just more fun than Canon Magic. But it's like
I
insanely hard to learn.
I still think Pioneer is like the best format. It's a shame that Wizard doesn't support it because is the perfect middle ground of being just as, if not sometimes even more affordable than standard is, because it's less supported than standard, so the cards that are good in it aren't as expensive. And the cards that are good in it aren't necessarily good in modern. So it's really affordable for a eternal format. And it's at
Eternal
a
is
really
good.
good power level where all the really annoying cards to play against in modern, the really annoying enablers
Let
aren't in
me
it.
see what's doing good in Pioneer right now. Let me check MTG Goldfish.
Probably like black, red, and mid
Okay, you
range.
guys are talking about cans.
It's always
Yeah,
black.
I should just end the
I
stream
think
now.
Black Red Midrange has been the top deck for like it's literally the same as like a year and a half ago. Like
Yeah, it's Rakdos mid
literally
range.
nothing has changed. Rakdos midrange, Phoenix, Nykthos.
But
Literally nothing's changed.
they're different decks now, though, which is nice. Like Picklock Prankster is pretty new.
I guess
Phoenix got
Picklock
really good with Picklock